Hello. I wanted to tell y'all about some more about growing up the daughter of a lesbian. I need to clarify some stuff up here. Not only was my mom a lesbian, she was also a drug addict. Okay? Um, when I was about 6 years old, I can remember I talked about in my first video about how people treated you, the children of lesbians. And I was like 5 or 6. It's the one thing that sticks in my head the most was I was staying at my aunt's house, and she had her mother-in-law watching me and my cousins, and she was going to take us to vacation Bible school for the week. And she had said how much fun everybody was going to have, except for me, because I was the devil's spawn, because my mother was a lesbian, and it was against the church, and God would never love me because I was the devil's spawn. I was like 5 or 6 years old, and you're telling a child this. She took me behind the church as we was walking up to the church, and there was ashes all over the ground, and went on to tell me that those were the ashes of the other devil spawns that had stepped into the church. So I sat out on the steps because I was afraid that if I went inside the church, that God would punish me because I was the devil spawn, because my mother was gay, because she had a lesbian lover. I didn't go in that day. My aunt told me that night it was okay for me to go in, so I went in the next day with them. I don't know what happened with her mother-in-law, but I cried that night. And that was, all this time I had been wanting my mom's attention, loving my mom, wanting my mom's attention because I had been living with my grandmother all this time. And now to have someone shame me like that. I had heard my aunts and uncles make comments before about they hoped I didn't grow up like my mom, but nothing like that. That stuck with me my whole life, that I was the devil's spawn because my mother was gay. No child should have to go through that. No child. There was lots of adventures with Sheila and Jeff. Sheila was my mom's lover, as you caught that in the last video, and Jeffrey was her son. She was pregnant when her and my mom got together. We were with them 10 years, and my mom, being her, really liked the women. She would cheat on Sheila a lot. And one time Sheila cheated on my mom just couldn't take it. Sheila cheated with a man. So she took Jeffrey and they left after 10 years being with my mom. So then I lost my mom and I lost my brother. They were gone. My mom packed me up and we moved. We moved 2 states away. And that was hard. I was 16 years old. It was very hard. And that's when I'd seen her smoke marijuana, take pills my whole life. But that's when she got really wild. It was rough. The police officer brought her home one night. I was 16. She'd been gone for like 2 weeks. And my whole life I was wanting my mom. Now it was just me and my mom. No one else. and she would desert me again. It was that whole feeling all over again, and no one wanted me from when I was younger, that I was a burden on everyone. So I was just alone. She would come home and give me money, and then she would be gone again. The police brought her home one night, walked her in front of the car all the way to the house, and then he put her to bed, and he took me to the car. In the car, there was pills and marijuana and stuff strewed all over the front seat of the car. And he was like, and he looked in there and he said, "You need to put that up, put it all up, and put it in the glove box so she can find it in the morning. Because if not, she's going to get you." And he followed me home in the car. I drove it home and parked it, made sure everything was put up, and he left. A very nice police officer. Mama was a character. She would bring people over and go, "Hey, this is my new friend, this is my girlfriend." And that went on for years. So as I was getting older now, I knew what was going on. You know, I'd known since I was 7 or 8. You know, my family's not like other families. I had 2 mamas and Jeffrey. And my cousins, they had moms and dads. So nothing surprised me anymore with Mama. I loved her. Don't ever, when you have lesbian families and stuff, or any lesbians or gays in your family, or your child goes off and marries a black person, don't make them feel unloved, uncared for. You're your own person. Everybody, my whole life, all I heard, you're going to grow up just like your mama. You're going to grow up and be gay. You're going to grow up and be a drug addict. It's not true. I didn't. I'm my own person. My mama was the child and I was the adult. Is how I felt always. Because I just wanted to be a part of her life. And I wanted to be aware of my surroundings, so I knew what the heck she was up to all the time. So I never got into drugs. And I've been happily married for 28 years to a wonderful man. So it didn't turn me gay, being around lesbians most of my life. That didn't happen. I have a 28-year-old daughter and 2 wonderful grandchildren. Because I'm my own person. Nobody made me anything that I didn't want to be. Nobody made me do anything that I didn't want to do. I'm my own person. Children are their own people. They're little people. They make choices. They do things. But they never expect their parents to hurt them or grown-ups to say bad things to them. I've got thoughts in my head still to this day that people said to me when I was a child about my mom being gay. It's not right. Being told I'm the devil's spawn stayed with me forever. You don't say things like that to children. You love them. You teach them life. But you don't condemn them for what their parents do or what their choices are. If my daughter had grown up to be a lesbian, then so be it. She didn't. But it wouldn't have mattered to me. It would not have bothered me at all. Because I love my daughter. So everyone needs to just be yourself. Be you. You can only be the best you can be. Don't try to be anything different. I love my mom. Love her to pieces. Still do. My time's running out. I'll make another video. Thanks, everybody.